Hello and welcome. I'm bringing you a short practice this time around so that you can insert it into pretty much any time of your day. And this practice is going to be focused on shoulder and hip stability. So those of you out there that add a little bit of weight into your regimen, into your fitness regimen, so if you lift weights, this will be a really great complementary to some of that heavy lifting that you might be doing. So let's begin in a seated shape, nice and easy. If you need something behind your back, definitely if you have a wall to you, you can absolutely encourage your spine to be tall and also have a bit of support. Otherwise, coming into some kind of cross-legged seat, and of course you can elevate your hips if you need to. Just placing the hands somewhere in your lap or on your knees and taking a moment to breathe. I like to close my eyes. Your visual sense is so super strong. It's one of your strongest senses, so it might be nice just to come inward and take away some of that stimulation. And take some breath in through the nose and out through the nose. So breathing through the nose is helpful to add a little extra oxygen into your body to help bring a little more brightness into your mind. So just follow the breath in and out. Giving yourself a few moments to land. I know it's a short practice, but let's just take a moment to pause and land on our mats, land in our space. And then when you're ready, start to flutter the eyes open gently to ease that light back in your eyes to gain more awareness of your surroundings. And then inhale to reach your arms up. So just draw a great big circle with your hands. Exhale, the hands come down to the center of your chest. Just a couple of times, feeling the shoulders, feeling where they kind of stop you, where they make little motions through your arms, where it might feel a little bit creaky, possibly. And then just keep going through your arms. And go nice and slow and focused. If you do find a little bit of that space, you can kind of pause and work through it a little slower and then come down. One more time. Inhale, reaching up, big reach. And then exhale, settling into the center of your chest. We'll step our hands in front of us, uncross the legs and come into a table shape. So an all fours configuration. So we'll make sure the wrists are under shoulders and the knees are under your hips. I like to tuck my toes here, but that's absolutely up to you. It just makes me feel a little bit more stable. So finding just a gentle opening of the palms, looking between your middle fingers, and then starting to breathe here, pressing the ground away from you with your hands. And allow your upper back to round. Start to try and bend the first knuckle of your fingers as if you're holding onto the ground, and then continue to allow your heart to draw upward toward your back. So feel that stretch through your arms, that power through the ground into your shoulders. And a big breath. Feel the space between your shoulder blades. And then ease off that pressure. Where the palms are is where we're going to place the elbows. So take a moment to settle yourself down here a little lower. The elbows underneath the shoulders, the knees are still under the hips. We'll just press down into the palms and start to push them a little bit away from your knees. So your knees are gripped down. We're pushing the knees away from your elbows and pushing our elbows away from our knees. If your toes are tucked, you might feel a little more stable as well. And then just start to push away from yourself into the ground, around your back as much as you can. So you might feel your pectoral muscles, the chest muscles, and start to open up the spine. It might feel a little bit tight here. Just start to push through your palms and your forearms and elbows. And inhale here. And then exhale to ease off that pressure. Just come to a neutral sort of shape, so a nice sort of easeful back. And then inhale to start to stick your tail upward. Let your belly drop and continue that ripple through the spine, reaching the chest and the chin, maybe the gaze a little bit forward. And then go the other way, so start to tuck your tail first, and then allow your spine to ripple upward and everything to cave in. Tuck your chin toward your chest. Let's go through this version of cat and cow a couple of times so you can continue to try to focus your energy into tilting your tail, letting the lower bit of your rib cage come down, scooping through the shoulders and looking forward. And then the opposite direction, try to bring the head down last. Notice where it's tight, what sort of tugs, what likes to bundle together. And we'll do our best to find a little bit of isolation between some of these parts in the body. So notice some parts that stick together, possibly your neck and your shoulders want to come together. Let's see if we can separate them a little bit. And just continue to round through. Just one more round. So if we're going at the same pace, we're going into that sort of cow shape with our hips tipped upward, reaching forward, looking, and then curling ourselves back in once more into a cat variation. We'll come back to neutral. So we'll plant those palms back up. So we'll reach our bodies back up a little bit. And then reach your left arm out to the side. Your palm, the back of the hand is reaching up toward the sky. So kind of like you're opening a little wing here. And then start to turn the palm upward, the back of your hand down. And just notice how that rotation feels. So you can go a couple times into your arm, just feeling that spinning or spiraling through. And then the palm faces up, bend the elbow and bring your hand to the back of your head. Let's inhale here, and as you exhale, point your left elbow, toward your right arm. So we're curling under and in, maybe looking to the right. Inhale to open, you could possibly open a little farther. And then exhale, come in, point your elbow toward your arm. And just continue through the breath. Press your right arm into, or your right palm into the ground. Perhaps you can open up and find a little more twist. And just 2 more times. We'll make it a nice little 5-round flow. In and out, in and out. Maybe sneaking in an extra one if you're really feeling it in your body. And then exhale, place your left hand back down. Just take a moment to pad through the hands. Maybe you shift your weight a little side to side. Find that center balance again. And then favor your left hand to reach your right arm up toward the side. So reaching your palm toward the sky, or the back of your hand toward the sky, and your palm faces down. Take another moment to feel that stretch. And then just turning your palm up toward the sky. So continue rotating through your arm. You can just start to spin your arm around, turning your palm from one side to the other. Up and down and around. Just notice that spiraling sensation. And then turning the palm up, bend the elbow, bring your hand to the back of your head, just resting it gently. Inhale into a neutral shape. Exhale, the elbow points to your left arm and you curl in, maybe you look to the left. Your inhale, you push into your left hand so that you can open up a little bit more. And then just continue through this flow. Elbow points toward the left. And we just feel the breath. Inhale, opening the side of the ribs. And closing here. So if you do lift a lot of weights, we hold so much of the weight on top of our legs, so we need to free up some of the space in the shoulders. Maybe we have 1 more round to go if we're going at the same pace, or you like to sneak a little extra one in. And then release, bring your hand down, take a moment here to shift through your palms. We'll press the ground away with the hands, tuck the toes if they aren't, lift the knees, and come up and back to a downward dog shape. So we're just looking for an upside down V shape. Notice where your hands are, where your feet are. You could bring your hands a little wider if you have a broader chest. And then you can also push down with your hands and pull them away, lengthening your neck. So push away from you so you can have space in your neck. Breathe through that broad chest. Lots of room to breathe here. The heels don't have to touch the ground. You can bend the knees a lot if you like. It's a lot of upper body weight to hold. And then as we inhale, lift your heels a lot. Bring yourself forward so your shoulders are over wrists. And then come down to your belly, bending your elbows as you make your way down. Untuck your toes, press into the tops of your feet so your heels kind of roll out, so lots of the foot is touching. Hands alongside the ribs. Pull the mat a little bit toward you to lift and lengthen through the chest, through your gaze. And then exhale to come back down. Let's go through that flow. So tuck the chin all the way to your chest. And your inhale brings your gaze across your mat, across the ground, toward the wall. Perhaps you lift and lengthen, press into the feet, protect your lower back, and then round yourself back in. tucking all the way in so you can feel the length of your neck. And just continue through that flow. Use your hands, pin your elbows in, and exhale, come down. So walk ourselves onto the elbows. So wiggle yourself a little side to side. You can find yourself on those elbows. Again, pressing your palms forward. So just take a moment here to feel settled. The shoulders are over top of your elbows. And then tuck your toes a good amount. So give yourself a good tuck in those toes. Press down through your palms and your elbows and see if you can lift your hips up off the ground, coming into a forearm plank. So pushing those hands a little bit forward and down, looking between your wrists, finding the toes tucked, and feeling your chest really strong here, long in the neck. Just looking forward and down, in through the nose and out through the nose if it's possible. If you need to sigh it out, then feel free to do that. Just another moment here, strengthening those shoulders, finding stability. And then lowering the knees down, lowering the hips down, tops of the feet press. Grip the mat and pull it toward yourself a little so you can bring your rib cage forward. Chin is just the same height or the same parallel to the ground. And just reaching forward. And then when you're ready, lowering your chest down, planting the palms alongside your ribs, tuck your toes, come up and back to down dog. So you can use your knees if you like, and then sending the hips up and back. Pedal your heels, sway your hips, take a moment in movement if that feels good for you. In through the nose and out through the nose. Inhale to take your right leg up and back, so just reaching it up nice and high. Exhale the knee to the chest. Draw the foot forward, plant your foot on the inside of your right hand. Turn your left toes out on an angle, bend your right knee, and reach your arms up alongside the ears as you reach your torso up into Warrior One. Wiggle your right foot to the right if you need a little more space for your hips. Press through the outer blade of your left foot so you can start to feel a tug to the left, but we're drawing our bellies and our ribs toward the front. The hands can interlace, or the fingers can interlace and rest at the back of your head. Another little breath here. And then lift your left heel, come up on the ball of the toe or the ball of the foot. Lower your knee down almost toward the ground. And then inhale to straighten up that leg. Just push your heel back. Exhale, bending the knee, lowering it down almost to the ground. And then inhale, come back up. So we'll do this 3 more times. Give yourself stability. We're just lowering and lifting. That's all we're doing here. Finding a little bit of a pump in that upper leg, a little bit of energy and turning on in the hip flexor. And then come back. Lift your arms alongside your ears. Inhale. Exhale. The fingers and the palms come down to frame the front foot. Step forward with your left foot to meet your right into a forward fold. So you can soften as much as you want to here. You can shake your head, nod it around. Just enjoy a little bit of release of that upper back and shoulders and arms. Inhale to a half lift, hands to the shins, straighten your arms, and start to look forward a little to squeeze into the upper shoulders. Exhale to fold over your legs. Let's do that again. Inhale to that half lift, straightening up the arms, looking forward, squeeze into those muscles in the upper back, and then exhale to fold over. Inhale to rise, push through your feet, lift your hands up toward the sky. Look up. And exhale, hands to the center of the chest. Inhale to reach up. And exhale to forward fold. Soften the knees, let your fingertips dangle. Bend the knees so much that you can plant your fingers or your palms, and you can hop or step back to a plank shape. So wrists under shoulders. Take a moment here, maybe you're kneeling, and go through your flow. So we can inhale to plank. Exhale, push through your toes, bend the elbows, lower down. We visited this one before, tops of the feet press. Pull the mat toward you a little bit, lift, lengthen. And then exhale, come down. Tuck your toes, will come up and back to down dog. Use your knees if you like to. Take another moment to settle here. Palms can be wider. Pull the mat apart, feel some space to breathe. And then inhale to reach your left leg up and back, big reach. Exhale the knee to the chest, stepping the foot between the hands more to the left side, so the inside of your hand. And then turning your right toes out on an angle, bend the front knee, reach your arms up alongside your ears, coming into Warrior One, Virabhadrasana One on the other side. So interlace your fingers to the back of your head, just resting your palms there. Bending into the front knee, make sure it's over your ankle, and then start to lift your right heel, finding the ball of your foot. So inhale here with your knee lifted, exhale to lower your knee down, almost toward the ground, or almost touching. Inhale to straighten the leg, and exhale to bend. So we'll just do this 3 more times. Go with your rhythm. All we're doing is lifting and lowering the body, turning on some muscles in the legs, finding some strength in our hips. And then maybe one more if we're going together, lowering down and straightening the leg. Lift the arms up, inhale. Exhale, planting your hands forward. Hop your right foot forward to meet your left into that forward fold. In through the nose and out through the nose. Let everything be soft here. Maybe you shake your head, yes and no, and yes again. Inhale to half lift. Lengthen your arms, look a little bit forward if that's helpful, and exhale to fold over. Inhale to rise, push through your feet, lift your arms up, lengthen the body all the way up to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale again, reach up, and exhale to fold deeply over your legs. Fold so deep you can plant your palms, hop or step back to plank. Find a flow here. So in the plank, you're inhaling, exhale, push through your toes, lower down. Tops of the feet, press down, find your pelvis, inhale, reaching up. Exhale to come back down to earth and back to child's pose. So let's tuck the toes to feel our weight up, lifted. Untuck the toes if you like, and send your hips back toward your heels. And it's okay if your hips don't reach your heels, you can have them lifted up. You can also stack your hands under your forehead if you need a little support. The knees can be apart or together if you're supporting that lower back. And even though my forehead can reach the ground, I still sometimes stack my fists to feel a little release in the neck and the tops of the shoulders. So we'll take 3 nice soft breaths here. You can close your eyes and think about the amount of complexity in your shoulders and in your hips, how much movement we create in them or ask of them each day. And let your last couple of breaths be nice and long and heavy and soft. In through the nose and out through the nose. Coming into cool down, let's reach our fingertips as far forward as we can reach them. Pull the mat toward you so you can lift your hips up off the heels. Shoulders over wrists, knees underneath your hips, tuck your toes, send your hips up and back to downward dog. Lengthening out the arms, you can pedal the heels, bend the knees, sway the hips, do what you like to do. And bring your hands in a little more narrow, so make sure that you just have a little space on the outside of your hands on your mat, just a little bit of grip space. Push back through your hands, inhale to reach the right leg up and back. Exhale to bend the knee, use your core power to step your right foot to the outside of your right hand. And then give yourself a little bounce in your back step so you can step your left foot to the outside of your left hand. And take a moment to monitor your body, see how you feel in the squat. So perhaps you bring your booty in line with your knees and that's where you stay. You can support yourself that way with your hands, or you can let your hips fall down in between your heels. If you have a block, you can sit on it if you like and just stretch into your legs. So if your feet touch the ground fully, that's great. If you need to lift your heels, that's just something that's part of your body and that's okay. So with your feet touching, start to push them away from each other. Let your tailbone point downward. The hands can come to heart, and remembering that our arms aren't pushing our legs open, they're just resting on the inside of the legs. So our thumbs are coming toward the chest, the edges of the thumbs, And they're encouraging the heart to lift up and come forward. So you'll feel your ankles quite a lot in this position. You'll also feel into your calves and the lower halves of your legs, which is wonderful. It's a hard part to target. And then just start to push your feet away. Just feel a little bit of energy through the inner lines of your legs. And feel those spinal extensors, so those muscles along your rib cage or your back, lower back, trying to lift you upward. And just take another 3 breaths here. So even if it feels a little uncomfortable, that's an area where we can learn something. So let's try and live with our discomfort a little bit, invite some of that in to see what might be on our edge. Just one more sweet breath here. And then setting our fingertips down in front of us, straightening up the legs, pointing your toes forward. Inhale to half lift. And then exhale to fold. And we'll fold so deep we could plant the fingers or the palms. We'll step our left foot back, come onto the knee. Bringing our right foot forward, coming into kind of a square lunge. So the ankle is underneath the knee. And then our hip is over top of our knee for the back leg. So we're just kind of framing into here. And we'll inhale into fingertips, lift the heart forward, breathe. Exhale, sending your hips back toward your left heel. Tuck your left toes, make sure they're tucked. And then inhale to come forward. So just a couple of times leaning forward in your hip. And then exhale, leaning back. Let's do 2 more. Inhale forward. And exhale back. Maybe you come a little lower. Inhale forward. And exhale, bring your left hip toward your left heel. Maybe you sit all the way back and come back forward. Planting your palms in front of you, bring your right knee back, and then swing your left foot forward, finding yourself in the same sort of lunge on the left side. So the knee under your hip, the ankle under your knee. Fingertips, inhale, reach the heart forward. Exhale, right hip toward the right heel. Inhale brings you forward, pushing into your tucked toes. And exhale, releasing all the air so you can come back. Maybe a little lower toward the heel. Inhale forward. And exhale back. Maybe one more if we'd like to go for one more. Inhale. And exhale, the heel can maybe touch. And then come back forward. Plant your palms, swing your left knee back. Open up the knees nice and wide just for a breath. Untuck your toes and send your hips toward your heels. Again, support yourself as you need to here. Just taking a moment before we come into a softer position. And then when you feel ready, start to pick yourself up off the ground. Swing your lower halves of your legs to the side and set your hips down. We'll bring the legs out front. Come to about halfway down your mat so that you can roll yourself onto your back. And bring your knees in toward your chest when you get there. Give yourself a little hug in, maybe a little rock side to side along the lower part of your back, a little massage. You can bring your knees a little closer, pick up your chin, maybe get into the mid-back, into the shoulders. Just work out any little kinks you need to before you come into a nice final relaxation shape. And the shape can look any way as long as you're able to let go and be a little bit still for a few minutes. So you can set the feet down with the knees bent. Bring your arms out to a T or a cactus shape with your bent elbows. And you can walk your feet out wide as your mat is. And just start to swipe your knees side to side. Just enjoying a little release in the hips. A little massage on the sides of the hips. Just imagining your muscles getting a little soft around the bones and soft tissue moving around the muscles. And start to find a shape that feels good for you to release in. If your lower back is a little bit tender, perhaps you just let your knees fall in toward each other. Your arms can be wherever you want them to be. They can be on your body, they can be open. Maybe you like your legs to be out long and take up lots of room. So just finding your right shape, the space where you can feel comfortable in and still in. And just letting go of any sense of time, trusting and allowing thoughts and process that I will bring you back when it's time to come back. And just stay exactly where you landed. And feel that consciousness trickling in, letting you know where you are, the temperature of your skin, building the surroundings around your closed eyes. Feel your breath begin to swell a little bit deeper, a little bit larger of an inhale perhaps. Your breath moves your chest, ribs, and belly. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes, gently bringing yourself back to your space. If it feels good, bring your arms alongside the ears and reach your toes out toward the end of your mat. So find a big stretch, bringing the knees to chest, wrapping your arms around, holding yourself for a moment. You could rock yourself over to your right side. Take a breath or two there. Your underarm can be a little pillow for your head. Then when you're ready to come up to seated, lengthen out your left leg. Press into your left hand to come up into a seat. And any seat will do. Close your eyes, settle into your sit bones. And placing one hand on your heart space and one on your belly space. Big breath in through the nose and a big sigh out of the mouth. My heart is at ease, knowing what's meant for me will not pass me by, and what passes me by was not meant for me. Inhale to reach the arms up. Reach into a big circle. Exhale, hands to the center of the chest. Maybe you close your eyes again or keep them open. Take a big breath, a big moment of gratitude for yourself for practicing. And Om Shanti Shanti. Thank you so much for joining me here.